What's up, everyone? Mason, how you doing? Fishing this small canal right now for some bass. I got some ultralight gear, ultralight rod, 1000 series reel, some soft plastics, trout magnets. Yeah, it's very peaceful. It's very nice out. There's like a fog over the water. It looks beautiful right now. I have no idea if there's any fish in this water. Um, it just unfroze within the last few weeks. And we're just starting to get a temperature change. It's starting to get a little warmer out. So I wanted to see if the fish started entering the creeks again. So today's my first day out here, though. So today will be today we'll be able to make a decision on if we can fish creeks yet. Our star, how you doing? And this is usually a good bass spot. Bunch of largemouth around here. But there's also a bunch of bluegill and sunnies and crappie and smaller panfish. So it's kind of why I went out with this ultralight gear, because I figured if there's no bass, it's still likely that I'll catch some small panfish. I'm going to reel it in. I'll show you guys what I'm using. It's a nice power bait mouse tail. I usually crush trout pretty good with these. I'll reel it back in slow. Because I thought I was seeing some signs of life out there. So I just got a bobber. And then some split shots and a very small number, not very small, but a number 10 hook. And this is a power bait mouse tail. So it's got some scent to it. We're going to see if we can get anything popping. And I'll move up and down the creek as we go. I just want to start off here, because usually this is where I catch my first fish at this spot. But like I said, I haven't been here in a while, so we're going to have to see if there's any action here. Just caught a couple small pike under a bridge about an hour ago, southeast Montana. Wow, I still haven't gotten a pike, but I would love to. I'm in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania right now, and we just got past the freeze just a few weeks ago. And then we had some warm weather, and then another snowfall. So it's been kind of crazy weather-wise here lately. But it looks like over the next couple of weeks, it's finally supposed to start getting warm again. So I'm out here a little early. Like, it's very unlikely that there's going to be fish biting right now, but I've been going crazy just sitting in the house. So I wanted to get out here and take a shot. See what we can do. And the tide's kind of low right now. This canal is tidal, so it gets it's pretty drastically affected by the tide. And we're kind of on our way out right now. High tide was like 2 hours ago. But there's usually some fish around here. And even though it's on a bobber, I'm actually working this pretty close to the bottom. I might go even deeper than this, because I know if there are fish here, they're definitely not coming to the top of the water. Let's say right there. That's better. Okay. Slimy little buggers. They're biting pretty nice. I was targeting some brown trout since it's been a pretty warm, but I didn't have any luck today. Planning on camping for the weekend. Wow. I've just been getting into the camping myself. I'm trying to, little by little, I'm purchasing like the things I need to do it, but I'm trying to set myself up so that I can do camping trips and go somewhere on my own and camp and fish for like a week. I've been like hooked on like the hunting and camping and fishing videos on YouTube that everyone's been posting, and I've been like really getting into it lately. But there's nowhere, you know, I'm in Philly, and around here there's nowhere to really camp. Like, I'd have to travel, so I have to start looking into places that are worthwhile. It looks like something was just nibbling at it. Part of me is debating on getting rid of the bobber and just really letting it hit the bottom. Let's see what I can do if I get rid of this bobber for now. There you go. All right, I'm going to try to just work the bottom without the bobber. Move these split shots back up a little bit. I'll be right there. Right there. So that's my new presentation. Take a trip over here and fish the Bighorn River. It's a really lovely area. Some of the best trout fishing in the country right in your backyard. Oh, man, that sounds like the life. Yeah, I'm really big into trout fishing, too. I would love to travel and check that place out. Over here, we get, like, in western Pennsylvania, there's a bunch of great trout areas. But here in eastern Pennsylvania, like in Philly, they stock some creeks, but there's so many people that fish here, they get taken so fast. It's really hard to get a good trout experience where I live. Live in a rural area, so camping and hunting, all that is all there is to do. Yeah, I just started hunting 2 years ago. So yeah, so last season that just passed was only my second year hunting, and haven't had any success yet. But I'm really into like the archery aspect of it. So I go hunting for like white-tailed deer. I'm hoping to go hunting for some turkey this spring. But in my WMU, there's like no turkey. So I have to travel out like hours away and try to find somewhere where there's a decent amount of turkey, which is something I still have to research. But I'm very, very much into the hunting lately as well. There's got to be some bass over here. That boy, thanks for the subscription. Appreciate you. I'm going to try to also do some streaming for hunting this year when it comes back to that season. So, like for turkey, definitely. And for white-tailed deer, definitely. I want to try for other animals. I just don't know a lot right now. I guess I still have so much to learn. But right now, they're like the two primary animals that I'm into hunting for. I'm also going to try to get more into the videos. I was making videos and not streaming for a little bit when I first started the channel, like the beginning of last season. But I had like a crappy camera and I didn't really like the outcome. Like the audio was shoddy, and then I tried getting a mic, and it was a cheap like Amazon camera. It just wasn't doing good. But I just recently purchased a GoPro. So now that I have like a quality camera, I'm going to try to start getting back into making the videos again. Because streaming's nice, but it's a little bit of pressure, like having to focus on the stream the whole time you're fishing. There's a lot of stuff I plan on doing this season too. I plan on traveling a lot to do, try for a lot of new species. Me, my little brother, and a friend of mine are gonna travel up to New York to catch some like steelhead that come off of Lake Erie into the Cattaraugus Creek. But I've never been there before, so we're gonna have to travel up there and like study the area and the creek and see where they're catching them at and what they're catching them on. So it's gonna be a lot of like learning new areas and new species this year. But I want to dedicate more time to, traveling and trying these new places out, because, like I said, in my area, fishing and hunting is kind of trash. Which is funny because, as bad as it is, there are a lot of hunters and fishermen in my area. Definitely a good skill to have, and even better experience. Yeah, I didn't really grow up around it, but my grandfather is a really big hunter and fisherman. But by the time I was born, he was kind of too old and like wasn't really into it anymore. But I just on my own, like a few years ago, started getting really, really like obsessed with it. So when I was a kid, I did like catfishing, like real simple, just tossing some bait out on a hook. But that was all I really did when I was younger. And then over the past few years, I just like really started getting into it and just really started doing like the lures and artificial, soft plastics and such, like literally 2 years ago. But I got hooked on it, and now I do lure fishing like constantly. And as you can see on the water, it is raining right now. It doesn't feel that bad though. I think it's like on and off. So hopefully it doesn't get any harder than this, because I think if it stays at where it's at right now, then I'll stay comfortable. Hoping I don't get soaked. But it didn't say it was going to get that bad today. So tomorrow, if I'm able to get out tomorrow, I think it's going to be a much better day. I think the weather's supposed to be nicer, no rain. It's supposed to be a little warmer. So today I just had to get off the couch and get out there and try to fish. Like I said, I've been going crazy inside the house. And there should be some fish in here, I mean, it's not a big creek or a canal, so they're usually confined and easy to catch. Let me go get my coffee real quick. Forgot all about it. Usually they destroy these soft plastics that I'm tossing out right now. I usually have very good success with these things in this canal. Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to be home. Like, I am not really an extroverted person, but being cramped up inside so long drives me crazy. Like, I'm meant to be outside, but like in the nature, like not in society. Not really a people person. I'm gonna try to just walk around a little more, not spend too much time at one spot. Everyone that sees me fishing right now probably thinks I'm crazy because it's still kind of cold out and it's like wet and rainy. I always feel like people look at me and think I'm nuts when they see me fishing in this weather. You should see the way people look at me when I'm fishing like in January and it's like 15 degrees outside. People probably think I'm nuts. Yeah, that's literally what me and my friends do anymore. I don't leave the house. I don't go to bars no more. I mean, every once in a while I'll go out and go to a bar with a friend or something. But typically I'm becoming more and more introverted as I get older, which I'm absolutely okay with because people are idiots out there anyway. That's usually what me and my friends do. If we're doing lure fishing, like where we're active and we're walking, we won't smoke. But if we're just chilling, like catfishing or carp fishing, and we're just sitting down, we'll smoke or drink some beers or something. That's the best. I'm actually trying to get a tent that I can chill in for some of the spots that I can fish overnight at, so that I'm not like out there in the wide open, especially for carp fishing. There's some good spots I know that we can fish for carp like late night, but it'd be nice to have that tent to be a little like to have a little bit of privacy. That's another thing too. I got to get more into the carp this season. Last season I probably went out for carp less than 10 times, and I didn't get a single carp last year because I didn't put enough effort into it. So I need to like redeem myself this season and put more effort into that, because carp are probably the funnest fight I've ever felt personally. Fish wise, like muskie was great and striped bass was great, but carp is nuts. They like don't give up. And it sucks that it's low tide right now, or like we're losing tide right now, because it makes it more likely that the fish are going back out to the river. I mean, like I said, I knew it was a long shot today anyway, but it would be nice to get a fish. I've been fishing December and January. I fished my ass off for walleye, because when it gets cold, that's all you can really fish for is walleye. And we had some spots that people told me were like walleye hotspots. And I fished the hell out of these spots, like hours and hours and hours, and didn't get a single fish. And then, it got too cold. There was a point in January when it got too cold, and I had to stop fishing for them because it was like 10 degrees outside and I couldn't handle it. And then the weather started breaking within the last few weeks. So I've been trying to get back out there, but I have not had a fish yet for 2026. So if you see me catch a fish today, it'll be the first fish I've caught this year. And it sucks because the last 2 years, My first fish of the year was in February, and I wanted to keep that like tradition going. And it worries me. I overthink things, but it worries me that now my first fish most likely won't be, it'll be this month, which says to me that it could be a bad season, because I'm having a late start. I know that's like overthinking shit, but I can't help but feel like that. Fishing and not catching nothing better. Yeah, bullshit. I'd rather be here not catching anything than home. That's the plan. Gonna park by the car and back, set up a little fire. Yep. Yeah. Trying to get into like the fire. I mean, I know how to start a fire, but just getting the gear to like, cut wood and like a flint and all that stuff. I've been hooked on the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel this month. Or I mean, this season, like the last 2 months. I've been watching like every video he has. I went from not watching him at all to like watching 5 of his videos a day, 6 of his videos a day. Like, obsessed with him. He puts out great content. And honestly, his channel is what made me decide that I want to start doing like the camping stuff, because that stuff does look cool as hell. I don't think I would do it in the extreme weather that he's doing it in. It's like sometimes he'll be out there in like 10 degrees. I'm not doing that. But it does seem fun, just the idea of camping and hunting or like fishing. Seems like a great time to get away from everything. I'm gonna take a little bit of a walk. There's likely nothing here, but I think it's a couple feet deep here. Like, it's not too shallow. There's some spots in this canal that are like literally this deep, and you can see the bottom. But I can only see the bottom here. I think it's reasonably deep on the other side. And there's typically a bunch of panfish in here, so even if the bass aren't biting, there's days where I'll catch like 15 sunnies in this canal, but just lure. So I would be happy to get even one of those days right now. Give you a better view like that, I think. Yeah, I hope my first catch is today at this point. I'm also going Sunday. So my plan this week was to fish today and tomorrow. I just don't know what the weather's going to be like. And I'd be fishing close by spots like this and kind of just feeling them out, like getting ready to prepare for when the weather breaks. But this Sunday, I'm going to go to New Jersey on like Fortescue Beach and try to see if I can get lucky and catch any striper, because they seem to be running up the East Coast now. It's like the season just opened like 2 days ago, and it's kind of early. It's colder right now than it was this time last year. So we're probably going to have a late start to a lot of fishing this year. But I do seem to see a lot of people posting catches for fish for striper in New Jersey, and I've seen some in Maryland. So I'm gonna try to go a little bit south of myself, because they're not heavy up here yet, but we'll see. We will see. And I see a bunch of signs of life. Like, I see movement in the water. I just can't tell what it is. And there's turtles in these canals, and I actually think there's carp in these canals too, believe it or not. This cop's just been chilling behind me in the parking lot. Bum, 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 bum. Noah, how you doing? What's going on? Okay. There's got to be a few hungry bass in here. Let me see something. Sometimes you can do some sight fishing here. And it looks like I just seen... I think that's just raindrops coming down from the tree branches. But sometimes you can see movement here. Like, it's possible to sight fish, especially when the vegetation is grown during the season. And you can see, like, the little bushes, the leaves moving that grow out there when the fish are swimming by. But right now it seems like there's just not a bunch of activity here. So I'm going to keep walking, see if anything changes. There's a lot. This is a long canal. So there's a lot of walking that I can do, and there's a lot of spots that I can hit. Typically, along this wall, there's not a lot of them because there's just no vegetation. Like, there's not a lot of like structure here for them to hang out at. But if you look just on the sides, like here and on the side right there, there's a bunch of vegetation grows out there. And that's why usually I start off here. It's weird. I feel like my hands are actually like... It's pretty warm compared to how it's been for the last few weeks. I don't know if it's because my hands are a little wet. It definitely seems to be deeper over here too than it was over there. So let's see. And I believe the river inlet where this canal starts is over there. And then I think it actually opens up again at the end. Like, this canal there's no like dead end. It opens there and it opens over here. But this is where the river spills into it. And I think it starts to get deeper and deeper as the further I go down that way. What lures do I have with me? I have a bunch of small, like, ultralight gear. I have these soft plastics, like these mouse tails they're called. I don't know if you know what they are. I just learned about them like a year ago. This is called a mouse tail. I got a bunch of different colors of these. I have trout magnets. I had power bait, but it actually hardened because the cap cracked. I have little maggots that actually go in these hooks perfectly, but I don't think they're going to do anything today. And then I have some, more aggressive lures. I have like mini crankbaits, blade baits. I got some spoons. I have a small, my ultralight tackle box is like this big, like a little over the shoulder John. But I'm actually going to have to expand and get a bigger tackle box soon because now my inventory of ultralight stuff is getting large. And it's like I'm stuffing shit in there now. But today I'm probably just going to do this lure. I'm probably just going to do this mouse tail because I don't know what the bite's like. And it always gets me the most. So, and for you guys in there that don't know what the mouse tail is, if you know what a wacky worm is for bass, to me, it's literally the equivalent of that, but just downsized. I mean, that's how I work it. Like, there's a bunch of ways to work it. A lot of guys will hook it into the ball here. I like to jig it like a wacky worm and just put it in the middle. And then I've seen guys like get rid of the ball and like hook it through. I mean, there's so many ways to rig it, but I usually tend to do this, and it gets me the most action. And I've caught so many different species with this. I've caught rock bass, I think I've caught rainbow and like maybe a brown trout with it. Largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, crappie. I mean, you can catch anything with this lure. It's amazing. It came highly recommended to me by the guys at my local tackle shop. And now I'm like obsessed with them. I have like 5 different colors. I get different sizes. I mean, there. If you're new to fishing, or if anyone in here, if you like to do pan fishing, or even bass fishing, I mean, I like to go weak, so that the fight is as fun as possible. So like this is rated for 2 to 10 pounds, and it's 10 pound braid, but I'll do leaders. I don't have leaders on today, but I'll usually do like a 4 pound leader or a 2 pound leader. And it's a lot of fun, especially if you find creeks that have decent sized bass. I've caught some like 2 pound bass on this ultralight rod, and you see how sensitive that is, and it's really fun. There's always a chance they could pop off, and I know that that's why a lot of people tend to do the overkill. Like, they'll get really strong line, and they'll get really strong reels and a really strong rod and big hooks. But to me, if you're overpowering it kind of takes the fun out of it. I want it to be a fight. Like, I want there to be tension and like a give and take with me and the fish. That's the best part to me, is reeling it in and fighting it. Like, so there's a lot of times when I'm fishing and there's a risk that I'm going to lose the fish, but the fight is just so much funner than if I just went in with like a strong rod and just like towed it in. That's not really fun to me. So it's another reason why I'm using this today. I was looking at one of those backpack tackle boxes to hold like 5. Yeah, I have one of them for bass. I just got the Bass Pro Shops Advanced Angler, and it has like rod holders on both sides, so you can hold like 4 rods, I would say, comfortably. And then it has like spaces for like 5 or 6 of those 3,700 tackle boxes, and there's like an opening on it's a really good backpack. You should look into that. It's called the Advanced Angler from Bass Pro Shops. I think it was $130, but it's like it's done so much for me. It's made it so much easier for me to fish for bass, because before that I had just a regular 1-drawer tackle box like this big, and then a backpack, like a little sling for my tools. And so I was constantly bringing multiple things with me to the spots. And in addition to that, I was bringing multiple things, but had nowhere to put my lures. So I would have to make a decision on what lures that I want to work with that day before I left the house, which sucks, because sometimes you get there and you're like, oh, I wish I had this instead. But now that I have that Advanced Angler tackle box or the bag, and I can bring basically every bass lure that I have. And it's just nice to like have that sense of, I can throw out whatever I want today. And when you're fishing for bass, you're just constantly moving. You don't really hang out in one spot and then wait there all day for a bass to pass by. So it's nice to be able to just like move, like how I'm moving right now. I would actually love to toss out a crankbait today, but I just know for a fact that there's no way anything's coming up that high to even bite something like that. But you catch some nice bass in here with the little mini crankbaits. You'd be surprised. Some of the bass in here are like smaller ones, but I've caught bass that are reasonable length in this canal. And this is a runoff of the Schuylkill River, which is really, really good for like smallmouth bass. Although in this canal, I've only caught largemouth. I haven't caught any smallmouth in this canal. But right outside the canal, you catch smallmouth all the time. It's very weird. It's actually very odd that I've never caught a smallmouth in this canal and only largemouth, because of how many smallmouth are outside of it. So Yeah, you know what? I actually use the rooster tails too. I haven't caught anything on one yet. I think it's my own fault. I think that I don't give them enough chance. Like, I'll use one, and then after 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, this isn't working, and I'll swap it out to like a soft plastic. But I hear a lot of people talk about rooster tails for trout. I need to give them more of a chance. That's something this season I want to try too. Like last season, um, I feel like I didn't venture out enough with the lures that I'm using. So I want to try to stop using the soft plastics. Today's different because I know that there's really nothing out there anyway. But when it's like high, when it's actually bass season and they're biting, I want to put myself out there and try new lures. I actually just recently got a musky rod and a bunch of 2 to 3 ounce swim baits like paddle tails and jointed lures. So I'm gonna try to really get out there and like use those bigger, more aggressive lures to try to catch the bigger fish. Because the soft plastics are fun, and it's like more likely you'll catch something because they're so easy. Like everything goes for them, but it gets boring over time just jigging these things. Like how I'm doing right now. Yeah, I would love a pike though. I've only had I had a chain pickerel last year, which isn't a pike, but it's like in the pike family. And then I had 2 muskie last year, but I lost both of them. The one I wasn't even trying to catch a muskie. I had minnows on a bobber, and I was trying to catch some bass, and a muskie took it. And I had really undersized gear. I fought it for a couple minutes, and then eventually the hook popped out. But it was a crazy, crazy fight on like a small, like a trout rod. I'm fighting this big river muskie with. And then in November, I believe, maybe December, just recently, I had a muskie, same setup, minnow on a bobber, and my reel was really old, and the drag was maxed out, and it was a burning that thing. Like it couldn't hold it, and I was fighting it for minutes, and then eventually the teeth cut the line, and I lost it, and it was a huge heartbreaker, but. Yeah, the swim baits I think are great. I just have to put more effort into them. I was catching striper on those like white friggin' Berkeley, or what are they called? I forget what they're called, but the white like bunker looking paddle tails we were catching striper on. There's actually a video on my channel if you look at it. Was made with that old crappy camera that I had before, but we went out on a striper trip like at the end of the season last season, and I caught like 8 striper that day, all big drones, like almost 30 inches. One I think was like 33 and a half or something like that. It's fun as shit catching big fish on those big lures. It's a whole nother game. Like, it's just crazy. But that's out there in the salt water too, so it's different. Like, I'm more willing to throw big lures out there because I feel like there's just more big fish out there. When you're in the river and like these canals and stuff, it's very unlikely. Okay. There's some under this tree. Then I might go see if there's anything going on at that bridge over there. The current's kind of weak right now, too. Sometimes I'll be here fishing, and the current is like crazy, crazy strong. Oh, shit. Do I got something? Ah, shit. Felt like I had something on. Even if I did, it was it was like a bluegill or it was something small. But it felt like I just had something on. I could have. There's been a lot of times when I had something on that mouse tail and it just was only taking the side of it. But that felt like that was a fish on. Man, I can't wait for this weather to break. I'm so sick of dealing with this cold. And like it's not that bad right now, but it still kind of sucks. Like my hands are a little cracked up and cold, and my toes are cold, and it's not horrible. Like it's dealable, but I'd rather be hot. I'd rather be sweating than freezing. I don't think there's much over here. Could be something at that bridge. And I'm gonna go to this bridge and try this bridge out. But after this bridge, I'm gonna start walking back the opposite way and catch up to where I started, and then start walking the opposite way down the canal. But I'm gonna try this bridge out real quick. Yeah, that definitely seemed like a bite. It definitely seemed like that was something on my lure, but it might have just, a lot of times with these soft plastics, when you hook it in the middle, it seems like something will bite the side of the lure but not suck the hook in. And I think that's what happened. But either way, it felt small. Like I don't think it was a bass. It was probably like a sunfish or a bluegill. So, what are you fishing for? We're fishing for some bass or a panfish right now. This canal has a bunch of different fish in here, but there's a high possibility that it's still a little cold for bass. So we're kind of banking on panfish, bluegills, sunnies. There's some crappie in this canal. I would love a bass, but I just think that it's not that likely. I wonder if these cops I keep seeing are like patrol for the parking lot or something. Or if they're stalking me. Could be stalking me. You know how cops are. Yeah, I'll give it a few Ks over this bridge, and then there's actually a gate there on that side anyway, so I'll definitely just start walking back. I kind of want to see what it looks like on that side. I never actually went over there, and it sounds like there's like a waterfall or something. Oh, there is a little bit of a waterfall there. Okay. Oh, no, so I was wrong, and the water's coming from the opposite side. But I'm just going to throw this over here and see if we get lucky. It's very interesting seeing that. One day I'm gonna venture down there and see what it looks like where it actually dives into the river. Let's do one more cast here, and then we'll start walking back up. Try the other section of the canal. Doesn't seem to be that deep here. Yeah, you know what? I can actually see the rocks. So it's probably like I think it's very shallow there. I'm just gonna move. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a walk, go back up this canal. There's another bridge a little bit up that I want to give a chance. It's actually multiple bridges, but there's one that's really close. We got time. I think sunset isn't until 6, which is great because it's been a struggle trying to fish after work with the sun going down at like 5. And this is the last week of it. So for us on the East Coast, well, it's the same for all of us, but the clocks are turning back this Sunday for us. And we won't have to worry about the sun going down so early no more, which was really screwing up my fishing. I haven't been able to really fish with a friend of mine because you live so far that by the time we met up after work, the sun would be down. So I'm really looking forward to getting that time back after work. And this Sunday, it's going to be like 75 degrees for us, which is amazing. I cannot wait for that. Whew. I want to go around and fish, but it's still a little cold here in Minnesota. Yeah, I think it's always a little colder there than it is in Philly. I live in such a weird area, like temperature-wise. Philly, like, comes and goes. One day it's snowing. One day you're walking around with, like, no sleeves on. It's a very weird city to live in. Okay. Crazy to think I've been fishing for 50 minutes already. And I've really just fished at this stretch of the canal. I didn't really fish much. But I think if there was any fish in here, I would have caught them. Because I think I fished it pretty efficiently. So we're going to go past this bridge onto the second bridge. Fish that John. Trying to keep it balanced. I know this camera, I'm a horrible cameraman. Having this phone on my chest, it's still something I'm getting used to. Originally it said it was going to be even warmer this week than it is right now. A few days ago when I looked at the weather, it said today was going to be 60 something. And I think it's like in the low 40s or high 30s. I probably could have dressed even warmer, honestly, but whatever. Nah, not yet.
Good luck.
Thank you. There's actually a lot of people who will see me fish in this canal, and they're shocked to even find out that there's fish here. I think a lot of people don't understand how prominent the fish are around here. So sometimes people will come up to me fishing and they're like, "There's fish in this water?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's fish in all the water in Philly, and all the rivers and all the lakes." And Philly makes a lot of money off of stocking, or Pennsylvania makes a lot of money off of stocking. And now it's primarily just trout that they stock. They used to stock muskie, but I think more people wanted the trout stocking than the muskie stocking. So now we really just get to stock trout. All right, I'll stop here. Try to spot out. Start fishing upward. Seems pretty deep. Supposed to be around the 50s this weekend. Yeah, even that's nice. What bait am I using? I am using, here, you know what, I'll show you. If you're still here. I am using a mouse tail. Soft plastic. It's a Berkeley or Power Bait scented. I use these for any kind of panfish and trout and bass. I've caught multiple species on this. So I'm using this today because I think it's the most likely that I'll get anything on with the water temperature being so cold. But this thing is like a great safe bait. What's the word? I don't know. It's a great lure to start the day off with. Yeah, I'm just using soft plastics today, so I'll most likely just use this. But I do have some trout magnets with me that also get me good success in here. I have some crankbaits and rooster tails, as the other guy, that boy was mentioning earlier. What else do I got? You know what else I have? They're like crappie jigs. It's like an 1/8 ounce ball jig head, and then like a shad looking John, like this big. But I haven't caught anything in this canal for that. I've caught things with them in other bodies of water, but never here. But they do really good for panfish as well. Like specifically crappie. They are really good for crappie. What rod and reel you using? I'll show you. So this is a very cheap setup. I got this for $30 at Walmart. And then I actually, what's funny is because it is cheap, I broke the tip, shoving it into a car one night after a bad fishing trip. I was very frustrated. But I love this rod, and when it broke, I was so upset that I started going around trying to find it again. And then, insanely enough, I found it at the bait and tackle shop in my neighborhood. But what this is a Daiwa Shock. You can see right there, and it's rated for 2 to 10 pounds. It's really weak. This says lure is like 1/16 to 3/8, but even 3/8 is like heavy on this. This is probably 1/8 of an ounce of weight I have on this, and this is like, you can feel it. It's a very weak rod. The reel is like a 1000 series. It's fun. There's a lot of fish I'll catch with this. I primarily use this for stocked creek trout, but I also use it for bass that aren't too big. Like I would say up to 2 pounds. I'll catch a bass up to like 2 pounds on this, and it's really fun because of how weak and sensitive the gear is. Yeah, it's perfect for panfish. It's great for bluegill and crappie and sunnies, but I like it for trout too. At least for the stocked creek trout that we get around here, they don't get that big. So they get big enough that it's fun to fight on this rod, but it's not like, potential to break the rod or, snap the line or whatever. It handles them well. To be honest with you, even these cheap rod and reels, I think, are good enough for fishing. Like I'm not someone who's like, I have to have the nicest and most expensive fishing gear. I think that's kind of like stuck up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do have there's some rod and reels that I have that are like kind of expensive, and there's some gear that I have that's quality. But I don't think you need to get like the most expensive fishing rod to have a good experience. I love buying these cheap $30 drones and like just seeing how they work. And this thing has worked great. I have like 3 or 4 ultralight rods that are more expensive than this, and this $30 one is my favorite one. typically, if I don't catch them at the wall, I'll just reel right in, because I've noticed the fish for some reason are almost always just either there or here, but they're never really in the middle. And I don't know why that is. Like, it just seems to be almost every catch I have is on the outside. All right, let's move. I'm going to move up a little bit, because I don't remember catching them that often around here. We'll give it a try, but... Alright, I'm not going to give this stretch too much attention, because I just don't think that there's much fish here, if anything. This bridge is nice. It must be nice living around here. I'm in Manayunk right now. This canal is actually called the Manayunk Canal. And this seems so peaceful. Like having this little archway bridge, I'll show you guys. Having that. And those are like all apartments and condos. And they actually just built this stretch, I believe, maybe within the last 10 years. But it must be so nice living by the canal. If I lived by this canal, I would live on the canal. Like, I would be on the water every night with the rod out. I think I'm just going to go up to this bridge, not even spend time trying it here. Yeah, it's kind of deep here, but all right, let's give it another shot right here. Why not? Let's see if we can get lucky. The shadowed spots at the edge. Yeah, that's usually what I'm aiming for. A lot of times under this bridge here, they're like, it's crazy how low it is. Usually the water is so full, it's like literally almost touching that plank right there. So we got like 2 feet, 3 feet maybe of water loss. And it's just going to get worse since high tide was like 1:30 today. Look at all the lights in there. I wonder what that place is. I don't know if you can see. Like right there. I wonder what that is. It's probably like a bar. Main Street is right there, and Main Street has just bars and restaurants and all kinds of stuff like that. Remember the one day, the first fish I caught of the day was actually right here. Let's see if I can get lucky and have that again. I think my thing just got tangled. Crap. There you go. All right, let's see. I meant to go further out than that. Finland, hey, I'm good. How you doing? Just fishing right now, trying to get some bass or something. Trying to get over this cold. Thank you, appreciate it. Haven't had anything yet, so I've been fishing. I think I've been here for, it says 65 minutes, so just over an hour. Haven't had anything yet, but, you know, cold weather, cold water. Do one more cast here, and then I'll walk up with some more. There's so many bobbers caught tangled on this line. They're everywhere. So many people fish here. This is a huge fishing hotspot. Was going to fish this bridge, but it's actually really shallow here, and I highly doubt that there's anything there. So we're going to walk over here, and there's a bridge not too far that I want to try out. Here you go, this bridge. Should be promising. What bait am I using? I have a, 1 second. Little soft plastic mouse tail. It's scented from power bait. So I use this for a bunch of different fish. I use it for a bunch of panfish and trout and bass. I think I've caught bass under this bridge before. Definitely caught some bluegill under this bridge before. So, see if I can do it again right now. Kind of don't feel like crawling under this thing. You know what? I can just hop a leg over it probably. Oh, there you go. And I have no idea how deep it is here. I don't think it's crazy deep, but I want to hang out and see if something happens. Might drop it in front of this wall. A little closer. And I'll let this drift out. The bridge I was talking about is actually further down, but this is a good bridge. Like, I've caught fish here too, but there's another bridge. I think it's the next one that is a good hotspot. So I'll give this bridge a couple minutes and see if I catch anything, but I don't know. Damn, it's already 5:36. I don't know why I'm going blind right now. And you know what? It's surprisingly late out because I thought the sun was going to go down at 6, but it might even be later. It looks like it might even take a little bit longer. Which is good. More time for us to not catch anything. I'm just going to move. This bridge is ass cheeks. I think it's very unlikely that there's fish over there. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm going to try this other bridge out. Not far. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Yeah, these condos, I think they were just built like within the last 10 years. I love the fog. It honestly makes me drowsy. Like, seeing the fog on the water like this, well, not in the water, but up in the sky, makes me like drowsy. I could fall asleep like this. It's the worst when you see it on the way to work in the morning. It's like I'm gonna piss out at the wheel. What's that, a fish? Oh shit, look, a beaver. Or otter, I don't know. You guys see that? I think it's a, damn, that thing is big. I think it's a beaver. I honestly can't tell the difference. I had a debate about this with someone the other day. I can't tell the difference between a beaver and an otter. I think that was a beaver. No, maybe it was an otter. I don't know. I don't know. But it was cool. And that thing was pretty big. The cold just does not get to them. Like, how are you swimming in the water, at the top of the water, just chilling? Like, the cold just does not bother them at all. I'm not even wet and I'm bitching. Almost there. All these things are falling off the trees now. This is that bridge. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we are. Dude, my hands are getting really cold. Who, that beaver? Yeah, right? Definitely is. All right, there's got to be some under this bridge here. Gotta try to warm my hands up. Should have brought my gloves. I'm shocked at how cold I'm getting. I always underestimate the cold, and I think it's not going to be as bad as it is. It's always my downfall. Probably hit this bridge for a couple minutes, and then don't know if I'll keep going. I had that one nibble earlier. I had that one bite, but besides that, I haven't really gotten anything. And it doesn't seem like my luck is changing. But it's all right. I knew today was a very low chance of catching a fish. You know, with the weather. We're still really not into the fishing season yet, so I figured I would just try my luck. But I forgot that I have no luck. Ever. And it's probably another mile up where the river, it could even be further, at least a mile up, where the river actually dives into this canal and like feeds this. But the fish are probably out there. There's some really deep holes out there. And it's probably where the fish are right now. This is why it's hard to do the fishing, like making like fishing content around this area, because the fishing's so bad around here all the time. But I'm gonna start venturing out a lot more this season. Going out and throwing the rod even if you don't catch. Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel that 100%. I've been so locked into the house, it just feels good to get out. I'm actually, they're doing like trout opening day for us is like April 4th. And I think it'll be within like the trout's preferred weather temp range, like, around 40 degrees, but it's still going to be pretty cold once opening day comes. And it could be an issue because usually I go wading like out in the creek when I go for trout, and I have a feeling like the water is just going to be way too cold for me to do that this time. So I'm going to have to like fish from the bank, which I really don't want to do. It kind of takes your, like, there's some spots that I really can only fish if I go out in the water. There's no bank that I might not be able to hit this time because I almost tripped because of how cold it's going to be. We're definitely going to have a late start to the season with how cold it is. Last year, it was not this cold in March. So... probably give it a few more casts. This fog got me. I swear to God, the fog is like Benadryl to me. I feel like I'm getting sleepier just looking at the fog right now. I'm very excited for this Sunday. So like I said, I'm going to try to get out tomorrow too. It's supposed to be a lot sunnier, a lot warmer. I just don't know what the weather's... it's a give and take in this area. So it says it could be warm tomorrow, but it also said it wasn't going to rain at all this week until yesterday. So if I'm able to, I want to get out tomorrow. But if not, Sunday I'm going to get out, but I won't be streaming Sunday. Sunday is going to be a recording-only day because I'm going to be... hitting the beach. I'm going to be driving for it's like a 2-hour drive, I think, up to the Fortescue Beach in New Jersey and fish all day for striper. I'm going to get some bloodworms, and I'm going to toss out some lures. I know it's kind of early for lures, and they usually hit really just the bloodworms around this time, but I have seen some people logging in catches with lures. So I'm going to bring some of those. I might bring some flounder stuff too, just because whatever, it's just something to do. But we're going to be sitting in the back of the truck all day, just chilling with the rods out there. So I want to have something to keep myself occupied. Just a few more days, and then I'm really excited for Sunday also because of the setting the clocks back. I can't wait to get more daylight. And I thought, I don't know if tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that we said that we were canceling daylight savings times. Didn't we all say last year that was going to happen? I thought that the administration said they were canceling daylight savings time. Is that not happening anymore? Because clearly we're still losing it. I'll do one more cast after this, and then after that, I'll probably call it. Grab myself a coffee, head home, take care of the kid. Man, I really thought I would have had at least a little nibble. I had the nibble earlier. I had that bite earlier, but I guess I thought I would have had a little bit of action today. I haven't fished this canal in a while. Like, I stopped, you know, I probably stopped coming here in, like, August or September last year. So I really have to, like, get myself familiar with the spot again and, like, see where the fish are. And I want to look at the water chart for Philadelphia and try to figure out when we're supposed to start getting these, these warmer days and the water starts getting warm again, so I can start planning out my trips. I think right now we're still at like 35 or 36 degree water temp in my area. And when it hits 50 is when you really start to see everything waking up again, like the flatheads and the bass. I mean, I think bass are more like 55 or 60 degrees, but, once you get to 50 degrees, you see flatheads coming up again, and I think it's when you really start to see a difference. So we got a while until we hit 50, like at least another month, maybe even more because of how slow it's taking to, like, warm up, but I am counting the days, man. Oh. All right, I think that's it for me today. I think I'm going to call it. Like I said, I'm going to get a coffee. I got like a 45-minute drive home. There's probably a bunch of traffic on the way. But for everyone, I appreciate everyone watching today and showing me love. I try to stream as much as I can. For anyone who's new, I try to stream as much as I can after work on typically Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then I'll get a Sunday morning in here and there. So I'll try to be on tomorrow around the same time, 4 o'clock-ish. But if not, expect me on this weekend. And thanks again, guys. So sorry I wasn't able to catch it on today, but I'll be on again soon. Hope everyone has a good night.